Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4! And today, spawning in on the west side of the map, playing in blue, we've got Louis MT playing as the Jin dynasty. And up against him today, well, we don't actually know what he's called. It's in a foreign language. In fact, let me know in the comment section below if you know what this even translates to. What I do know is that they're playing in red, and they're playing as the Knights Templar. Welcome everyone to Relic River. As always, hope you guys are having a great morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And already some shenanigans. It looks like it's going to be a forward barracks, potentially here for the Knights Templar. Going to go for some Dark Age aggression. So, hope you guys have been enjoying the content. Obviously, lots of casted games recently, featuring none other than the Jin dynasty. Players have been slowly figuring them out, what they're good for. And we've seen a couple of strategies starting to, I guess, come to the fore. Some have been going for 2 town centre plays. Some have been going for a fast castle. Curious to see what Louis MT decides to do today, especially up against what looks to be a rather aggressive Knights Templar. Gonna get the spearmen out nice and early, and certainly would be looking to try and delay any play for a fast castle. Wonder whether Louis MT instead will go for a second town centre. Of course, lots remains to be seen. We shall see. Hope you guys have been enjoying the DLC content, and yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about the Jin dynasty. We've seen them struggle a little bit actually in a lot of the matchups. But a part of that could really be because, of course, it takes time for these players to figure out really what the optimal strategies are. Of course, lots of new mechanics. You've got things like the emissary coming out in the castle age that can actually go to the trade posts and place down the tributaries, and it's actually quite a smooth farming transition. In order, yeah, if you go for that option, it's always a big plus actually for the castle age type of play from the Jin dynasty. Obviously, look for the relics as well. The big question is really whether the Knights Templar today will allow them to do that, or at least it will be looking to slow things down. Speaking about slowing things down, well, other than slowing things down, these guys, mounted villagers, they actually gather really, really fast. But not fast enough to gather the gold he needs before the spearmen get involved. So looking to bits, get some palisades. Oh, tried the trap there almost, but no, but mostly trying to defend this gold position. A good thing about the mounted villagers is that they have got a decent amount of health on them, and so it's just going to fight with them and then get the gold when he can. So this is nice actually, the fact that he gets the small walls here, because the spearmen can't really do too much with this. They can't really go around. They run the risk of going underneath the town centre fire. But still, nonetheless, nice early pressure here from the Knights Templar. Eventually, Louis MT will get to the feudal age. The curious thing as well, though, is that they don't actually get an archer. Oh, he snuck past. They should be able to get a couple of kills here, but in terms of spearman kills, they should go down pretty quickly because of the extra HP for the mounted villagers. Got to be careful not to lose one, though. Louis MT does micro it relatively well. But ultimately, this is a lot of idle time, right? So you feel like the spearmen have actually done their job. Curiously enough, these mounted villagers can actually fight this off. Got to be careful not to lose one, though. He's got to micro it back. He will, obviously. But it's caused a lot of idle time. No doubt about it. This one could be tricky. Oh, wait, the spearman moving. Oh, gets a massive shot. Yeah, okay. Knights Templar going to back away. Looks like potential here for a second town centre play. We do see the Knights Templar go for that a lot in many games, but we'll need to see where he does end up deciding to go to. Whether it goes to gold for a castle age behind this, or a feudal age aggression potentially even. The options are abundant here. It will be the Knights Hospitaller, and it will be the stone in the end for a second town centre. It's going to go for the Great Pasture here. Louis MT going to get the a single stable and a grassland combined together. If you're wondering what a grassland is, well, when you build a landmark, they actually spawn some grassland posts, and you can build grasslands on them. They steadily spawn horses, and you can use those horses to make the cavalry cheaper, or you can stockpile them, and it gives you a little bit of HP on both the melee form and the ranged form of cavalry. You might be thinking, well, what ranged cavalry? Well, they don't get an archery range, but what they can make from the Great Pasture is the Mohi Tribesman, essentially a feudal age horse archer, if you will. It's pretty nice to see. It's kind of a tricky one that the Jin dynasties don't get archers. It does kind of break up the counter triangle a little bit, but we'll see how they manage this. I guess to negate that, castle age can be quite nice for them. They can get the crossbows from the well, I wouldn't say archery range, because they've actually got a combination between an archery range and a siege workshop. They call it the machine workshop. So you do have the ability to get crossbows from that. Right, go to the wood line. The stone coming in thick and fast for the Knights Templar. Curious to see where he goes for this. Could go for the deer camp and gold. This could be a nice spot. But it's a bit far forward. And actually, One thing we've been seeing a lot in terms of pro player games recently is that actually previously players used to go quite close to the original town centre, put two together, and it's a nice way to protect the economy. In some ways it's easier to protect as well if both your town centres are close to each other. But what we have been seeing in some sort of bigger maps is actually players actually placing their second town centre a little bit further away on key resources, whether it be the boar, usually the boar to be honest with you, a faraway gold, deer camp. And the idea behind that is that, well, when you have an army, when you're going up against a civilization which doesn't necessarily always have a hugely mobile army, then that army can't be in two places at once. So whilst they could be focusing on the second town centre, which is far away, or your primary town centre is absolutely fine and your primary eco is doing well. Still, probably a little bit easier to protect a second town centre closer to home. And there we go. It's going to go for the boar and the berries. And considering it's looking like LuMT is not really investing huge amounts into the feudal age just yet, this could be an interesting play. Should be able to get away with a good economy build-up behind this. Go for the deer camp further out. Bear in mind, they do have some really good upgrades. Mohi Ancestry, rather, increases the gather rate by 20%. Doesn't quite enough gold for that. Well, he does now. Just got it. Obviously delayed by the initial rush opening here for the Knights Templar. There were 6 villages on gold and 6 mounted villages on gold at that. It does look like it's a castle age play. There's the first Iron Pagoda, making his way out on the map. Can try and snipe the Pilgrim, potentially. Of course, the Pilgrim, a unit for the Knights Templar that does need to get to the sacred site to gather some gold. He's really going for it with the body blocks, and I think he's gonna intercept it as well, which is kind of crazy. This is real micro nerding, but it's understandable. That's the high level that we're up against here. Okay, now there's the Mohi tribesman slowly pushing the spearmen away. Looks like in the end, this particular pilgrim should be able to make it, despite all the body blocking. He gets it in. Second town centre up and running here for the Knights Templar. The castle age, though, not too far away here for Louis. The question is what does he go up with? It's usually the Dragon Pavilion. We haven't seen too much of the Mountain Hall, I gotta say. The Dragon Pavilion does offer a lot. It gives you basically a static defense, and can actually give you from the town centers at least. It can give you the army that pops in through. They call the Menjan Muki emplacement. Gets you into the town center as well as in the Dragon Pavilion. So it's quite a nice way to protect some resources. And you have to wonder, on a map like Relic River, you feel like it's going to go for the big gold, because the golds do run out quite quickly and they're often forward positions, as you can see. He's already like sort of almost halfway through his initial gold, and the deer camp already kind of secured with the outpost. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and get... There it is, yeah. Go for the Dragon Pavilion right here in the spot. Helps protect the sacred site, but also secures that gold vein. He's also training behind all of this. One thing to bear in mind, you can actually make the traders from the Great Pasture, and I believe that's what he's been doing. He's been actually using the traders here to do it. Well, he must have, because he doesn't actually have a market, so there's only one explanation for that. Now, good 7 villagers, but this is a pressure point. This is where the Knights Templar might look to try and harass a little bit. We'll come to that in just a moment, because the gold income, 54 per trip, not too shabby. But he's going to want to get this up. He might lose a villager or two. He might try and micro this to pull the weak one away. He does do exactly that. I think he'd be fine, actually. I don't think he loses anything here. The superior production speed or construction speed of these villagers is just really nice for the Jin Dynasty. And in fact, he actually manages to snipe one spearman. And as soon as this is built, obviously the Manjamuki riders coming out. Here we are. The defenders, they pop out. They might even take out a Knight's Hospitalia. They do, actually. Oh, and they took out the scout as well. Nice pick off. Behind all of this, by the way, second town center has been buzzing away for the Knights Templar, so their economy is looking good. With the castle age in play now for the Jin Dynasty, curious to see how quickly he'll place that monastery to pick up some of those relics. Although he does actually secure a relic here, which is very, very nice. Gonna look to put some pressure on gold. Often you do need gold for castle age units, and well, the Knights Templar can try and cut him off. I wonder if he's going to go for crossbows. Does he actually have a production building for that? He doesn't quite yet. Struggling on the wood, but he's on wood here with a lot of mounted villagers. There we go. There's the emissaries going out to get the tributaries. And do a bit of a fist bump in the air. And here they come. We're getting some farms before too long. There we go. He's actually gone for the one on the east side as well, so it makes a really smooth transition in terms of food. It's kind of lacking in that department in terms of gather rate. At least compared to the Knights Templar, but of course it's because of the second town centre. Working really well for the Knights Templar. Economy-wise, certainly ahead. It's all going to come down to how Louis Empty decides to scale his economy behind this. Does he add a second town centre himself, or does he look to just escalate trade? Speaking of which, trade kind of exposed, does lose one trader. Alright, the Menjan Muki defenders do come out of the town centre. He's going to engage this. Of course, no real match against the Spearmen. You can't control these, by the way, so the AI takes over. Yeah, finding it hard to afford things, actually. Nice Templar just diving this town centre. Good number of villagers idled, so yeah, this is causing some harm for sure. As the defenders pop out, might snipe a villager or two on the wood line. It'll be good to pick it. Oh, does he? Does he get it? He must get it. Yeah, he gets one more. Nice pickoffs there. I mean, this is quite costly. He's only killed 2 villagers in total. I guess the big thing is it's keeping a lot of the economy idled for the Jin Dynasty. And Pagoda trying to get some reinforcements that come in on the way. Oh, well, might get some villagers here, actually. The deer camp. Villagers pulled away. No, this is not ideal. He gets one more villager. Possibly even a second. I don't think he'll manage the second, actually, in the end. That's where it's curious, right? Because the Knights Templar, a decision to be had. Do they keep pumping out feudal age units and try and delay things for the Jin Dynasty? Or does he look to go to the castle age himself? But in doing so, he will of course invite a decent amount of pressure coming in from these castle age man-at-arms. Which, by the way, scale really nicely in the Imperial Age. Take a look at this upgrade. Tower Shields. Gives them a +3 ranged armor. Of course, we are nowhere near the Imperial Age, and just by sheer numbers here, the Knights Templar will be good taking this fight, I think. Louis engaging, but I don't know if this is really a winning fight for him. He is trickling in the man-at-arms, so it's a little bit close and difficult to tell actually as it happens. Sheer numbers-wise, though, the Knights Templar probably will win that. A couple of units here for the Jin, just hovering around that food resource. In the end, it's actually enough to push it back here. Louis has got enough. They're just so tanky in the castle age, rather, up against the feudal age units. Again, harassing villagers on food. Just with a handful of units, he's going to lose a couple more villagers. This is where it becomes really tricky. He's on the retreat. He's got to find a way to defend his military, but he's also got to find a way to get to the castle age. Food income has been hit slightly by being pushed off of the deer camp. It looks like actually the man-at-arms don't have enough here. Reinforcements coming out. He has to keep pumping here. The Knights Templar. There does come a point where he needs to think about that castle age. Bear in mind, behind all of this, the food income should be really escalating from the tributaries, and that's exactly what's happening. I love the play, by the way, by the Jin Dynasty. Coming in, fighting in the south, allowing the economy to boom up in the north. I think this time, though, I don't think Louis has enough. Just sheer numbers-wise, it should work out well for the Knights Templar. Yep, Louis going to back away. Backtrack. Behind all of this, by the way, he has been slowly picking up those relics. Picked up one so far. Also catching the sacred sites always helps. Well, now with Louis backing off, I wonder whether this does give an opportunity for the Knights Templar just to cease production of units and try and get to that castle age. Now, no signs of a second town centre here for Louis at all. Continues with the trade. There's the monastery. 71 gold now. He's extended it. It's a fight that maybe Louis shouldn't be taking. Quite a few weak man-at-arms here. I think... Oh, he's doing it though, so he can get the relic. But he spots it. Gonna send a couple of horsemen. And that's actually pretty huge though. Goes for the Wallow. Horsemen need to back away. He does. He just about gets out of there. But, I mean, overall, this buys a lot of time for Louis. Forcing the Knights Templar to make feudal age units. But with the loss of those man-at-arms, I think actually the Knights Templar should be feeling good about themselves. Could be a really good opportunity now to stockpile resources, get to that castle age. Because you can't stay in this feudal age forever. He's engaging once again. The big question as well is thinking about gold income, right? There's something that both players will be thinking about. This 8,000 gold vein tile secured for Louis. Not so much this one though. This is very raidable. If he does decide to pivot to the north here, Louis could get some big pickings. Just hiding out in the stealth forest for now. This is a fight that I think the Knights Templar can take. It's a little bit more even. What we shall see. He's got the second melee armor upgrade, by the way, for these man-at-arms. Yeah, I think he's okay with taking this, the Knights Templar. He will suffer some losses. It's buying him time to get to the castle age, though. The great thing for the Knights Templar is this farming transition is well underway. The food income's really strong as well, though, for Louis. A lot of it's coming down to the fact of these tributaries. They look really good for them. Looks like he's continued to add in a couple of traders here and there as well, up to 9 in total. Yeah, he's almost there. He's going to go for the Republic of Genoa. Going to be able to get the extra gold from the pilgrims, but also get those Genoese crossbowmen. Probably a nice approach up against these man-at-arms. Another relic on the way for Louis. Could bring in at home. Yeah, so again, that's finely poised actually. There's always a risk point when you're stuck an age behind. You take a bad fight and everything spirals. But actually, the Knights Templar seem to have timed this to a T, although this push coming in here, it's a bit awkward for them because he will not want to take a fight before the castle age upgrades come in, right? And Louis MT can probably sense that, and he might start to push in. And in fact, he might take out this production. He's got a lot of torch damage coming out, and I think the Knights Templar, they have to retreat. He may just have to give a bit of a ground up, lose the production buildings, and then take a big fight once the upgrades come on in. But he can't engage this just yet. Not whilst he's waiting for those upgrades. Veterancy for the Hospitaller Knights, that's what he's after. And I can imagine he's probably thinking about a couple of crossbows as well. Yeah, there they are. The Genoese crossbowmen. He won't want to lose too many production buildings though, of course. Waiting for the upgrades, not quite in. Yeah, now with the crossbows added, this could be a decent fight. Needs a couple more though. He's going to take it. Mohu Tribesman going to cycle around. Mohu Tribe's going to snipe out the Genoese crossbowman. Nice play there by Louis. Gets rid of the crossbowman, allows his man-at-arms to take the fight. And fight well. Looks like a dicey one actually for the Knights Templar. He might just have enough because of the production buildings being right here. The reinforcements coming in thick and fast, of course. Yeah, he'll win this. Looks like Louis MT going to back away with the Mohi Tribesman. For now, at least. Question is, Louis is stacking up a lot of resources. You have to wonder whether he's at some point thinking about the Imperial Age. Could be... I mean, he's stacking up a lot of resources for it. There's always the potential for it, actually. Fast Imperial Age timing? Well, fast-ish anyway. That could be even a bit exposed. He's got to be behind economy-wise, of course, because of the second town centre for the Knights Hospitallers and the Knights Templar. But it's just been pulled away there. Question is whether the Knights Templar can do damage or not. He is thinking about the Imperial Age. Could this be a little bit greedy? Manjamoki emplacements come on out. He'll take care of that. These Knights Templar units. Causing a bit of idle time. The question is, I mean, he could potentially build the landmark somewhere else, right? There's always an option for him. Might have to. He's stockpiling a lot of resources. Got to do something with it. He's pulling back. He's going for the counterattack. Nice play there by Louis. It forces his enemy to react. He's reacted in a way of bringing back his army. This is awkward. He's going to go for a keep. Oh no, he's going to pull away there. He's not going to challenge that. I hope he notices in time. Question is, where does he go for gold? Makes it very tricky. Initial gold. He's got a decent chunk left, about half. Oh, the village is going to just be sacrificed. He pulls away now. He realizes he's going to go for a counterattack of his own. But the Imperial Age is in. This is where it becomes really tough for the Knights Hospitaller to deal with Imperial Age units coming in soon, I'd have thought. Struggling on food, but I'm sure we'll get there soon. Or could potentially go for a Walolo as well with the Pagoda Forest. It's always an option. Not the fact... Wait, did he get the relic in... That's weird. Wait, is that... Does that mean he gets the relic? Does that count? That's so strange. Do you have to put relic? I don't think you do you? You just can garrison up to 3 monks. That's weird. I wonder whether that relic actually counts when it's garrisoned inside. Okay, no, he's going to take the... Yeah, he's going to take the relic back to the monastery. Makes sense. This is huge. He's being attacked here. Torching down as well on the second town centre. That will go down before too long. It's just way too much torch damage. You'll lose it. That's a big chunk of the farming economy, actually. That's now been hampered. It's got some mills though. That'll work. But he's got to defend that position. Otherwise, another push could be devastating. Speaking of which, this is a push that the Knights Templar are going for. He's far off the Imperial Age himself, so he's going to go for the aggression. Imagine Muke are soaking up a lot of the damage coming in from the Genoese crossbowmen. I got to say, sure. I mean, the thing is, there's no villagers garrisoned inside here, so the economy's still buzzing for the Jin dynasty. He's not really harmed him that much. Lost a couple of units, sure. Overall, Louis not feeling too bad about the situation, I wouldn't have thought, because the biggest chunk of his economy is actually in the north of the map. Genoese crossbowmen, they can't stay here forever. Well, he's going to stay for as long as he can, I guess. Another batch of army coming in from the south. That keep offers so much protection here for Louis. Double gold, all the stone. That's a significant problem for the Knights Templar. Never really managed to pick up the relics either. So all of a sudden, he's behind. A big part of it's got to be the trade. Oh, the Genoese crossbowman. Hello, pay attention. Oh no, he's not spotting it. He spots it now, but he lost a good few crossbows whilst that was happening. Look at this raid coming on the right side with the elite man-at-arms, by the way. These are going to be so hard to deal with. I think he's got the upgrade as well, right? We talked about... Oh, he hasn't yet. Yeah. Imagine if he gets that. That'd be incredible. Another base swap at this point. He's sending half the army back. That leaves this army exposed. He's chasing the villagers. Gonna run into the crossbows before too long, though. This is tricky. It feels like the Knights Templar are really kind of pigeonholed and tunnel visioned into this area. But there's not much economy to be disturbed. Can't say the same for Louis. He's definitely going for the economy, the farms. He's going to go for the capital town centre, it seems. And he probably will get it, actually. There's enough torch damage out. Gotta say though, not picking up the relics, a bit of a missed opportunity here. The capital town centre should go down. Bear in mind, there's a potential for trying to go for a landmark snipe, I guess. Gets rid of the capital town centre, gets rid of the Great Pasture. Leaves only 2 more remaining. So it's going to be tricky to get rid of the Pagoda Forest though. Transitions into the Eruptors, the ranged gunpowder infantry. I don't think he... Does he actually get this town centre? There's nothing to repair it though, right? And it's on fire. I say that, there is one village now coming out. To maybe repair. Get repairs coming on in. He'll protect this. Not enough units there in the end for the Knights Templar. Walling up on the right side just to try and get things condensed and stop the raiding. Another town centre being built. He's going to go to the Imperial Age now with the Republic of Venice. I feel this could be a chance here for Louis to do some damage. He's got the tech advantage, of course. He's going to group together man-at-arms, eruptors. That's a strong army composition. Maybe he's going to go through the middle once again. That town centre had just been built as well. Imagine if he goes for that again. That's a big chunk of resources. He's going to nullify it very quickly. I think the big thing about the game state, though, is the fact that he's got so much gold coming in from the trade. 2,000 gold per minute. He's got control of the golds on the map. So I've got to say, the position for Louis is actually looking really strong. He is an age ahead as well. And this second town centre about to go down, you'd think, but that's a lot of Genoese crossbowmen actually as it happens. But this could be a decent chance for a fight for Louis. He's up against a Castle Age army, of course. Before upgrades are in, I think this could be a good chance to try and thin down the numbers, and I think he's looking to do just that. We're charging in with the man-at-arms. They shouldn't be able to withstand too much of this, though, because these are Genoese crossbowmen after all. It's the Eruptors, though, behind all this that doing a lot of the work. And he's going for it. And try and build some more production buildings, but I don't think he has enough Genoese crossbows. These Eruptors looking good. Also, he's got a couple of these Janmar swordsmen. That tanking, at least for now. Eventually, we'll clear this up. Defender's advantage, of course. Gold-wise, he's gone for the south one. Got a couple of fortresses as well. We're talking about landmark snipe earlier as well. Don't forget, the Knights Templar only actually have one landmark. That's the capital town centre. Of course, these fortresses do act as landmarks as well, so you'd have to lose these first before being sniped. That's always something that's potentially an option, though. He's managing to hold just for now. With the Imperial agent for both players, we could be, well, we are going to be seeing a late game situation. This gold is being vacuumed up. But yeah, certainly these two relics, bit of a missed opportunity to get some more trickling of gold. He's actually got some condottiero as well. It's a nice option up against the Eruptors, actually, as it happens. Quite a strong army composition. Takes less damage from the gunpowder units. Oh, bit of a counter-attack here with a couple of Janmar swordsmen, couple of Eruptors. So we've moved away from the man-at-arms, as it happens. The big problem for the Knights Templars, they don't really have much torch damage, so it's not really getting through the infrastructure too quickly. And these Mejanmuke defenders get mopped on up. Did add another town centre. Oh, that's the capital town centre, actually, as it happens. Running on in. Oh, trying to rush up a keep. That probably does go up, but he's going to lose a lot of villagers doing so here, Louis. But it protects the trade, so it's certainly worthwhile investment to get this up. He needs to. He spotted it at a good time, but not quick enough. Back at home, there's so many idle villagers, by the way. 24 of them idled. These guys just camping out, going for the woodline as well. The economy, it's a bit of a struggle here for the Knights Templar. He's sending army back. It's a constant tug and war between going forward and backwards, these units. 95 gold per trader. That gold income is skyrocketing, right? I mean, how many relics does he have, Louis? He's actually got 3 of the relics. He's got 2 sacred sites as well. Not to mention the monumental trade. 32 traders. Janmar swordsman, the condottiero doing some work. I mean, to be fair, the Janmar swordsman doing some work as well. He's back now to defend. With such a, this map feels so big though, right? His infantry taking a long time to get where they want to go. Eventually, the Iron Pagoda, Elite Iron Pagoda, will deal with this. And horsemen as well, so it looks like Louis MT going to leverage mobility on this large map. Not a bad play, especially up against this number of Genoese crossbowmen. And, well, adding in the condottiero as well, looks like horsemen are a nice option for them. They'll do well against the crossbows if he can get on top of them. That's a big if, though, getting absolutely hammered by the condottiero. But he's got the raiding potential, speaking of which, a couple of Eruptors around the back of the woodline. I go for another fortress to try and protect that southern river. Yeah, you can definitely see a bit of a switch in game play style here for Louis. Cavalry is going to be working well in his favour. So the sheer mobility of it all. He's managed to kill 42 villagers in total, by the way. That's a huge amount of economy damage. And he's getting so many elite upgrades coming in. The food income, gold income is looking so good for Louis. I'll go for a rush fortress. To try and stop the raids. That's one way of doing it. The big problem though for the Knights Templar, if they've never really been able to push in one big push down the middle with torch damage or some sort of siege damage to destroy infrastructure, they've potentially got to focus up in the north, but maybe it's a little bit too late. The north is where a lot of the economy is for Louis. Now he's going down south once again. I think that's the misplay here. And Louis recognising that his economy is in the north, protecting it with all these units. Knights Templar being baited to this location. Even if he does take out these 3 landmarks, you still need to deal with this one, the Dragon Pavilion. up in the north. So it could be another base swap almost here. Louis starts to attack. Well, the Knights Templar can't get back in time, really. There's not much to defend here with. I think he probably feels that the fortress is going to be what keeps him alive here if he does get raided. We'll see if it does the job. Horsemen going to dive on in. Villagers garrisoning for now. He's putting pressure down the middle. That's a lot of units though. Just don't know if there's enough siege. Here come the Jeanmar swordsmen. Around the back horsemen. They could just try and torch us down actually, the fortress. I don't think he's going to manage it. Doesn't have boiling oil either, which is kind of rough for him. It's hard to afford all these things. Oh, he's being baited a little bit. Yep, okay, he redirects them in the end. There's units though in the food economy. That's a lot of horsemen. In fact, these are elite iron pagodas. These guys are going to raid incredibly well. Villagers absolutely getting massacred here. The Knights Templar are really struggling now, having to fight in multiple fronts, and Louis is making advantage of the mobilities he's got, attacking in 2 different locations. Sure, he's being attacked in his main base, but there's not a lot of economy here being harassed, right? So I think this is buying time for Louis. In the meantime, he's doing all sorts of damage, killed 89 villagers in total. Miniature damage just looking so good for the Knights Templar. The question is just sort of they're out of position, right? It's a lot of spearmen though, so Louis can't hang around there for too long. We'll take out the second town centre, kill more villagers, no doubt. They might just want to try and find a retreat here. He's doing just that. Understandably. Wants to secure his exit route first. Now, he might just lose the Great Pasture. He could potentially be going for a landmark snipe as it happens, although Louis is thinking about coming back here, it seems, to deal with this. There's a potential for it. Only 2 more landmarks remain. Maybe this is the way the Knights Templar do it. He's got to get rid of the Pagoda Forest first. Oh, this number of military, actually. He's not looking in a terrible spot. Will this keep going up, though? That's going to buy Louis a lot of time, I have to say. That's a great keep. It's going to be difficult to fight underneath all of this. Louis sensing the danger. Could be getting his army squished, though. Or does he? Does he just take this fight, thin down the numbers? I think he does. Oh, the army's here. It's not together. And that hurts. Means that Iron Pagoda can take a favourable engagement against the spearman. This is a great pick-off by Louis. He'll thin down the number of his spearmen, and then he can always run away, right? And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's done his job. In fact, he might look to be aggressive, actually, as it happens. He says, okay, well, if you want to try and take my base, I'll take yours. Bear in mind, he does just need to take the fortresses, and then it's the capital town centre he needs to take out, Louis. If he wants to go for a landmark snipe of his own, he's picking off reinforcements, and the Knights Templar, they're getting pulled into this fight. He can't go for the landmark snipe. There's a keep there, and also he's worried about the cavalry running into his base. Why wouldn't you be? It's looking tricky here. That's a lot of iron pagodas, by the way. 405 HP. Cavalry typically are the best units in the game in the late game. They're just so resource efficient, or population efficient, I should say, as well. Maybe he's going to go for it again. Oh, but another keep there. Yeah, this is a position you can't really fight off again. Don't forget, there is a spiritual awakening, a Wallalow for that landmark too. Looks like Louis is thinking about the landmark snipe. Needs to get rid of all the fortresses first, though. Now, adding in a couple of the veteran bed crossbowmen. That'll do well against the infantry mass. Having it on the back line, although this is a fight that Louis can't necessarily win. Not yet, anyway. But it doesn't have to necessarily. Just needs to buy enough time for his horsemen to do the rest. Although with the mentioned Mookie emplacement coming in, and the bed crossbows, maybe he can deal with this, actually. Reinforcements coming into fight as well. Can torch down this fortress. This is not looking good for the Knights Templar. Might be sniped. There's a fortress down here, which Louis knows about, by the way. He knows all about that. I think that's the last fortress he's got to deal with. The trouble is, these crossbows cannot back away from this fight. This is it. Oh, wait, he's going to go for the bribe? Does he get it? He's going to get loads of that, no? Holy moly. He got a lot of them. A lot of the crossbows do turn neutral. That's just going to go from bad to worse, especially with the crossbows. They are now elite bed crossbows. And the capital town centre being torched to the ground. There's still one more fortress, though. He's got to deal with that. The trouble is for the Knights Templar, they're running out of steam. He lost a lot of villagers. Now he's losing the army. And he doesn't have the economy to replace it. You can see the population capacity. Louis at 200 is maxed out. And he's absolutely pumping. The income has been so high for so long. Looks like the Knights Templar running out of steam. The capital town centre on fire. There's no way to protect us, I think. These iron pagodas and elite horsemen, they're just way too strong. And I think with the town centre going down, you get the feeling it's got to be GG. He's got no village of production effectively, and the army too strong here from the Jin dynasty. In the south, the fortress goes down, or will go down. Either way, the game is over. Great victory there by Louis MT and the Jin dynasty. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, and if you did, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Either way, that was a smashing one. Take care, and I'll see you next time.